Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another part of my single eyeshadow collection videos. Today we are going to focus on reorganizing my collection after my declutter. So if you haven't seen that, go take a look. I narrowed down my collection to much less than it was. These are only the neutrals. Please don't, like, these are actually only the browns. So this is what I'm working with, and I'm trying to narrow it down a little bit. I asked in the previous video, which hasn't gone out yet, but I also asked you on Instagram on how do you think the best storage system is. So far I had my neutrals, warm neutrals, and cool neutrals and mauves into 3 different palettes because I had a lot of eyeshadows, and I had a mix of shimmers and mattes. But then I had palettes with all of my Glam Shop eyeshadows, like this one for example, that I consider special shades. So I have my Glam Shop eyeshadows here, for example. These are my Tamitanuka pressed pigments, and then I have a tiny palette with my Cliona and Divina Cosmetic multi-chromes. Now, I have been enjoying having these special palettes because when I use a different eyeshadow palettes for the mattes, for example, a pre-made palette, then I go and pick a shimmer from one of my special shades. In that way, it was very convenient. On the other hand, I have not been using my neutral mattes because I don't reach for those palettes at all because I have my special shimmers in a palette. I can use other palettes for my mattes, and I feel like I need to find a new way of working where I use these eyeshadows. If I look at it like this, it brings me a lot of joy, actually. They do all bring me a lot of joy. So I am thinking of just putting them all, just again divided by color, seeing if I can fit them in a smaller palette and see if I can get more use out of the mattes together with the shimmers, combining then the special shades into these general single eyeshadow palettes. I have some Z palette. I need to be more careful. I just butchered an eyeshadow. I have my Z palette XLs that I want to use to fill these. Oh my god. And I'm gonna clean this up and then we're gonna start rearranging. So this is what I got to. This is kind of a more cool tone and mauve and burgundy color story. And we have the more neutral neutrals here and this line actually. And then we gradually go warmer this way, ending with these more orangey red eyeshadows right here. How am I gonna put these in palettes? I think I'm gonna start with putting the cool mauves and burgundies back into this one. And I was trying to do it vertically like Faces by Gina does, but I am more of a horizontal organization person somehow instead of a vertical organization person. I always go light to dark, but then I end up with the darkest matrix in this corner, or for you in this corner. I'm not particularly inspired by this currently, so it might change again. Let's see. I was expecting this to be quite hard, to be honest, because then these will also not fit all into one palette. So yeah, we can continue and see how that goes. One thing that also annoys me infinitely is that they're all different round pan shapes. Mainly the Nabla, and I have this big one here that is Neve Cosmetics. I am thinking of repanning all of these, but to be honest, repanning all of my Nabla eyeshadows seems like a lot of work, more than I want to like dare to take on right now. So I'm not really sure what I want to do about that. Let me think. I will fit 7 in a row up here, or in general. And then probably not 7 if there's a Nabla or more in there. And that would be another one. And then I'm left with this little ones that might actually fit into my cooler toned eyeshadow palette. But again, it kind of doesn't really inspire me in this configuration. This is very difficult now. I think one thing that really will help is for me to repan these into all the same shapes. I am a bit, these are 2-gram pans, so that those will probably not fit into these small 26mm, even though Makeup Geek are 1.8 grams, so it could in principle fit. This is a newer Makeup Geek, is also 1.8 grams, so they might actually fit into the 26mm. That will help for sure, but then yeah, I will lose the original pan, and that will help with like making it visually pleasing on the one hand. On the other hand, I'm also still thinking, how about if I divide shimmers and mattes? What if that helps me more with planning out my palettes? Because that could also be the case. Now, this brings me more joy actually, now that I look at it like this. So maybe I'll try to do that. Let's divide shimmers and mattes and see if that works out better for me. Look at that. Doesn't this look so amazing? I'm so happy. This one makes me much more excited to use this. And I do think I'll get a lot of use out of a palette like this. So let's go with that vibe and try to organize my mattes as well. Now, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult because of these big pans. One thing that I want to repan for sure is this Earl Grey eyeshadow, because it's huge, whereas I'll keep the Nabla ones as they are. But I'll try again into trying to organize them better. And now here's to hoping that they will fit in the palette. That will not fit, I'm afraid. I am afraid that will not fit. It's the Nabla ones are difficult. The Nabla ones are difficult. So I'm left with these out actually. I can fit this one maybe in, yeah. This is what I can fit in, and these 3 are out. But this could be a nice matte neutral palette. What do you think? I have all my undertones and all my depths without these 3. I must say these are also shades that I don't really use, but I'll try to fit them into another palette and or see if I should even just declutter. Maybe I should do a maybe palette with eyeshadows that remain out and maybe are not used so much, and see if I should wear them, if I'm gonna wear them or not. Now that we've established that I want to separate shimmers from mattes, I'm excited to see how I'm gonna organize these. I mean, for me, greens are neutrals, so but it wouldn't fit into that palette, I think. Maybe this one would actually fit in the neutral palette right here. Down with these more reddish tones. And see what else can fit in here. So maybe this, that is a Turbo Carrot, it's called. It's a champagne shade, could fit up here. And then we can fill this one up nicely. And these have more distinct shifts or colors, I feel like. These are nice shifty ones. And then these are proper greens, actually. Greens. This is a cooler green, more, how do you call it? More sage. And this one is actually called Nut. And this could be a, also kind of thought of as a neutral cool tone. And that would probably live somewhere close to Mesmerize in my head. But I feel like, I think we have reached capacity in this palette. Or can I fit one more? One more. There. Good. And these are very difficult to place actually, because I need to look at the shift in front of me or in the camera rather than the shade that is horizontal onto the in the pan, because that's a different shift, of course, and the base is different. So I have already this palette that is quite shifty and interesting. But for example, I already see that this one shouldn't fit in there, because these are more cooler tones, let's say. And ooh, so many pretty colors. While swatching, I found a dupe between this one right here, which is Bliskotka, which is a Turbo Glow, and this one right here, which is Yuzu from the Citrinada palette. They are pretty much exactly the same shade, except that the Turbo Glow has more sparkle. So I'm gonna keep that one and declutter the one from the Citrinada palette. I just depotted all of my Glam Shop palettes, so I have them now running around. I'm gonna try to get these warmer tones arranged and keep the green ones apart, because I have a green palette that I want to fill and deal with. So I'm gonna do these warm tones and pull out other warm tones that could be friendly in this direction. Even though these are much brighter colors, as you can see, these are much more orange, or like is my orange palette. And then see if this will work as well. It should also kind of trigger me to be more creative with my combination of colors, shimmers, and things like that, with some different mattes. I'm not a big, as you guys know, cut crease type of person. I don't do these contrasting crease with eye type of looks. It's just not my style, and I'm fine with that. To be honest, I'm very fine with that. It's not something I like to do. But for example, this one has a shift, and is this shift more green or more gold? I would call this more gold. That is Dragon Rider in the Sun by Tammy Tanuka. This is Dragon Rider of the Hunt. This I would put in a green palette instead. And these are even browns that should go in the brown palette. Does that mean that I have to separate that further because it doesn't fit anymore? It is possible. It is possible. Oh, look at this gorgeousness. And these need a glitter glue, unfortunately. I've pressed them quite some time ago. This is the Temptress. But this one is more of a green, I feel like. And then what comes up next is, what if I remove these red ones from this palette and put these with more red tones and berry tones? And then keep the more brown tones in here. I lost all of my organization in it, but that kind of works better. And then putting in here also these guys from the Vina Cosmetics. If I manage not to break anything, it would be great. Or put my nails into things. This is more pink, so we'll deal with it later. My Cleona Cosmetics, I don't want to put in here simply because they're square. I hate the fact that they're square pans. I should repan them. I saw Gina do it, and I should, but I don't for now. Green to orange flip. I should use this like on a daily basis. What is this? Fearsome Girl on the Fjord Coast. See, all of these shades I don't use enough, so I really should put them to better use. But let's try to get our head around this lot of eyeshadows. And of course, separate further if it is necessary. But let's, for example, do yellows. I think this one is a... Ooh. It's a blue flip, actually, with a yellow base. Very interesting. No idea where to put that one. This one also has a beautiful shift. This is Posipka. You guys, I really don't know how to divide these. It's so hard. Satellite. These guys might all just go together because they have this weird shift. Triple. Again, similar with a very orange base. Swatched here compared to the others, this one seems really boring. This is sold by Cleona Cosmetics in their usual formula, their like traditional formula, and it seems very boring compared to the others. So I would have these as my oranges. Who are you? Cool beige. I don't think you're an orange. Absolutely not. This one has a very strong pink shift. So I would have separated them by my more yellows and golds, my more oranges, my more neutral shifty ones, and here I have a little bit more pinky burgundy tones that I would then put somewhere else. And now the question is, can I fit all of these two, at least the yellows and the oranges, together in a palette, and then orange and yellow mattes in a palette? Would make sense. Good thing is these are all normal sized pans. Unfortunately, the answer is no, because I can only fit 28, so 7 by 4, and we have more than that here. Let's see what can fit somewhere else, for example. Like Vela has a very strong greeny shift that could go somewhere else. Catchy is also, yeah, difficult to show you. This is a multi-chrome from Glam Shop, and it has very different shifts depending on where you look at it. This could also belong to a more greeny, or like these very shifty shades. No, that fits two more. And then these two fiery ones may actually have a place with the reds, maybe. But you can see that these reds are just not the right red family for this. Okay, looking at these two, I don't need to keep them both. And I'm gonna get rid of this one. I just depotted this one from the Citrinada palette. I'm gonna get rid of that one. And now everything fits. Maybe sometimes decluttering is the way to go. This situation doesn't really give me a lot of space to grow in my collection, but maybe that's a good thing. And here she is, my finished golds, yellows, and orange shimmer palette. Let's see if I can put in this colorful palette the mattes of yellows and oranges. Shouldn't be too bad. I don't have that many yellow mattes. They all lean orange quite quickly, or neutral, as you can see. So that shouldn't be too big of an issue. Here we go, lots of different sizes of pans, but that comes because there's a Sugar Pill, Neve Cosmetics, and Nabla mixed with the rest. I'm happy with this one, so that I can call closed. I have some coral, or what I call corals, and some pinks. Coral and peaches, I guess, and pinks. Let's maybe start with the shimmers. Then I'll pull in these more pinky tones that I found earlier. And I'm thinking, because there's not many, I'm gonna pull in the reds as well, because otherwise I really wouldn't know where to put them. And they can probably fit in here. Right? I think these could work together. And darker reds as well. And then I might actually combine all of these and have a nice, aesthetically pleasing gradient palette. This is also kind of a red. This is a red. This is a red. I think this is a green. This is Subjugations, but actually it shows purple on camera. But I would keep it with the greens, I'm pretty sure. So let's see if we get the shifts right for this one. This one's a nice pinky one called Nymph. Then we have Cool Beige, which is harder to place in the pinks maybe, but we have Ready or Yacht. This is actually much more of a peach epigram, which has this strong cool pink shift. Makeup Geek Wildfire, which is this gold with a pink base almost. This Vino color that's actually quite warm. Where does that go? Thank You Next by Colourpop, which is warm, but it shifts to pink as well. This is Salamander by Cleona Cosmetics, which kind of fits into the same category of warm Techno Peach, which is Boom. Quite nice. Right there. Fashion for Success. Which also kind of falls into that similar category, but much redder base. These are much more neutral. This is Truffles. And Truffles again. How many Truffles do I have? Look at me having double. Well, one I'll declutter for sure. I don't need two. I bought them double. Compulsion. This has a beautiful amount of sparkle in here. Navy Compilation, and here we go into more the reds. Compilation also, I think, falls into a red. This is from the Remix palette of Glam Shop. It's a nice deep shade. Then these pinks don't bring me joy in this palette, to be honest. But I also, maybe I should put at least this pink into the purples. And I don't think I'll split the purples out, but actually I should, because I have a ton of shifty purple shades. And then should this pink fit in there? Very difficult to think actually of where that would go. And here is the final palette of pinks, peaches, corals, reds, shimmers that I made in this nice pinksy palette. And then I am thinking of combining these coral with the pinks and just go with that, I would say, because there's not many. And actually it fits a lot of stuff in here still. Does this fit in this color story? Kinda, maybe, if you pair it with these three. These three would look good together. Maybe I'll just park it in here for now. And that's another 2 palettes dealt with. Let me see if I can actually combine these guys in here after cleaning this palette. Oh, this is starting to become a bit of a Tetris situation. I can fit them all. I shall fit them all. Yes. Ha! It's like playing Tetris. Not as aesthetically pleasing as I would like it to be, but maybe if I flip these two around. There we go. That's better already. But I fit yellow, oranges, and reds. Awesome. 1 palette less. Next up, possibly the hardest one to do for me is my greens. Now, I think I have much more green shimmers than I have mattes. So I think this palette will become my green shimmers. But it's still going to be quite a challenging thing to do, because I love greens and I tend to buy a lot of them. This is a really small green palette. I might combine the greens and the blues in the mattes as well. So that will give me some more space, and that will go with this one probably. But for now, let me put them in here just to safeguard them. It's crazy how little green matte eyeshadows I have actually, if you think about how much green I wear. But I have very good greens in palettes, because that's also what I look for into palettes. So for example, my earthy palette from Beauty Bay. But look, that's all the matte greens I have. It's very limited, isn't it? Okay, here are all my green / green shifting eyeshadows. I think natural division will be cool toned and warm tones, and that might be the way I get all of these into palettes. Yeah, so let me try that to start with, because I know that I wear my warm tone greens much more than my cool tone greens, and maybe there might be some things that I declutter while I'm at it right now. I don't know why my blue brown isn't here, but I think I'll keep it with the teals. And this is a little bit one palette, and this would be another palette. That would work. Now, let's start with swatching all of these shifty shades. Now, this actually doesn't shift green, it shifts blue. This one shifts green, so this one shifts blue away. This one, we swatched these before, but these one are so similar. This is Vela by Divina Cosmetics, and this is Bliss Kotka by Glam Shop. But Vela has a bit more of a base. Then I have The Power of the Earth by Tammy Tanuka, which, if I look at it, is the least impressive of these, so that will go. Then we have again Soul by Cliona Cosmetics. That is again, I'm gonna keep it, but on the edge. This is from the Moro palette. Oh, this is a real gold though. This should go with the yellows, not here. But our yellow palette is full, so I don't know. Catchy, that's a multi-chrome. Can definitely stay. This is Ornament. And the Golden Dragon Rider of the Hunt we just swatched. I'm working again with a 7x4, I think. This is Druid by Glam Shop. Gorgeous. Mary Jane by Colourpop. She Who Keeps the Secret of the Green Flame by Tammy Tanuka. This one, if you build it up on a glitter glue, has a beautiful green glitter in it. Monstera from the green palette of Glam Shop that I just depotted. The Keeper of a Heartbeat by Tammy Tanuka, which is stunning. I have a lot of these shades, as you can see. They're all very similar, but also different. Color Drain Green Valley from the Safari palette. Bucks from Glam Shop. This one is Celadon from Glam Shop. That's from one of their palettes. See, this one is just, it's pretty, but it's not one of my favorites. How does it compare to Mary Jane? The formula is not one of my favorites, but it's a different shade of green that I don't really have. This one is the Naughty Novice by Tammy Tanuka. This is also gorgeous. Then we have Incarnation, which is a multi-chrome actually, gold to green, and Winged Foreigner, which is also green to gold, old gold type of shift. What else would I throw up here? Nectar from the green palette of Glam Shop. Side of Olives, maybe that fits better here. 35M Stand Out. And then we have Khaki from the Moro palette. These are more neutrals. Kind of would fit good with this other one, Glam Shop. This is also Kosari from the Moro palette of Glam Shop. This is the Temptress. Gorgeous. And Subjugation. Why don't I use these more often? I mean, look at that. Subjugation is very pink. But yeah. These are spilling out already, yeah? Orion from Glam Shop. This one can probably go with the cool ones. And this one is Moro from the Camo palette of Glam Shop. Can also probably go with the cool ones. And then I am left with Awakening from Tammy Tanuka. This one is also more of a cool tone green. And these two, which are Pink Kiwi by Glam Shop. Where do I put it? Here. And this one is a purple base with a green shift. And then I have Abracadabra, which is a green base with a copper shift. So a green base copper shift I think I can fit in here. I don't love the formula of Pink Kiwi, to be honest. It's very satiny, but the shift is so cool. I think we have our green shimmer shades palette. And to be honest, these count as neutrals to me. Like, these are my everyday shimmers. And I'm super happy. I want to use these so much more. What I didn't put in here, actually, should I have? Yes, is these Cleona Cosmetics ones. I have this one, which is Orion, and this one, which is Chromosphere, which is a multi-chrome that shifts old gold to green. That should have gone in here. But I don't know what I should declutter then to fit it in here. Maybe this Pink Kiwi shade that I don't think I'll wear. The orange base. Oh, this fits way more. Ha, look at me. I don't have to declutter anything. This fits way more than I was expecting, actually. The 7x4 is the small palette, not the big palette. So let me check with the shift of this one. Yeah, this can fit here actually quite nicely. If I put this one here, and I actually think this guy should also stay here. There we go. And then I can actually fit a few more here. So I might put the Moro, and yeah, these all look, I think, cool enough to be together actually. So that one is my warmer green palette for now. I think I'll throw my cooler greens here in this palette right here. I'll try swatching on my other hand, but I'm not really capable. This is from the Remix palette of Glam Shop. This is Shepherd of the Glowing Jellyfish by Tammy Tanuka. It's also beautiful. And Fantasy. And Mountain Crystal. These are of the new formula of these crystal eyeshadows. Look at the shine of these. It's absolutely redonkulous, but they're super thick as eyeshadows. They're a bit difficult to use, I find. And this is Skilazir, which is not one of the crystal shades, but it's one of my favorite eyeshadows to wear in winter. Elphick by Glam Shop, also a favorite in winter. Shiny Basil, which goes much more green. This is from the green palette. Oh, this is warmer, isn't it? This has definitely a very warm tinge to it. I'll put it in the other palette. Orion Flora has a shift, which is super cool. It shifts almost blue in some angles. Zigzag. This one is like a purple to green. Blue brown. This is the Dragon Rider in the Forest. Also quite a warmer shift, but more of a foresty green. This one I'll show you now. This is Awakening by Tammy Tanuka. Look at it. It goes green to teal. Turbo Mint, beautiful. Bravo from the Remix palette. Wizard and Music from the green palette. And this one is a Tammy Tanuka one, Pulling into the Abyss. So these are my cool tone greens. I don't know if I should put this guy. No, this should be with the purple, shouldn't it? Yeah, this is Messier by Divina. So these are my cooler greens. Then let's see what to do with this. Maybe I can actually put my blues with my cooler greens, which would make sense. This is the Big Three by Colourpop, which is a blue shifty shadow. And I don't know, just placing them somewhat like this. I mean, that's all the blues I have. And then I am left with these more silvery finish, which brings me back to where do I put the grays. In the same place I put the silvery. And these are all shifty shadows that are translucent shifty shadows that shift mainly blue and green. This one shifts gold. And these are Divina Cosmetics highlighters that all shift different shades. There we go. These are all my shifty translucent shades. If they all fit, it would be great if they could all fit in here. If they don't, I'll need to figure something else out. I'm also thinking maybe it's time to get rid of these Divina highlighters because I haven't used them in ages. And yeah, I can just say goodbye. And fit the silvers in here as well. And call this one a palette, and then I can put in here my greens and my blues. And here we go. This is my green and blue matte palette, and this is my green and blue shimmer palette. Who knows if this situation will actually help me use these eyeshadows more. I have no idea. In the meantime, I'm already, as you can see, switching and preferring palettes with the window because I like to see my shadows. That's already something. And then we are left with purples and randomly shifty shades and neutral and shifty shades, which I still don't know where to put. Difficult. This one doesn't seem too complicated to me as a organization because all of these shadows are quite distinctively purple or purple shifting. These two shades that are normal shimmers kind of bother me, but this is quite an easy one to do. And some of these are quite neutral and I love to use them on a more daily basis, but they are all cool toned shifty shades. And are they all different? Yes, they are. Don't come for me. I have a hard time getting rid of these because they're so beautiful. I mean, what are these? It's magic. It's magic, I tell you. Like, I probably don't need all of these actually, but they're all so beautiful. And yeah, that's also a normal one. So beautiful, so shifty, so special, and all of these deserve the spotlight. And these would be something that I wear let's say, on my lid with whatever shade I put in my crease, but these are all more cool toned, let's say, in their shifts. And these are my purples, which will stay in this purple palette, I would say. There's not many, and I'm okay with that because I don't wear purple. I could even put it in a smaller palette, to be honest, but then I am afraid it will get a little bit lost with the rest. I'm gonna put these here. I can't get rid of them. They're just so nice. Oh, and one thing that I wanted to put in that palette was Messier by Divina Cosmetics, because it kind of fits into that family as well. And that's that. And I am left with these babies right here that have no home. I'm thinking these guys should go here with the shiftiness. This one is gold, so not really. Where would you put this? Yeah, with neutrals. All of these should go with some neutrals, or difficult. This one is golden holo even. It's a holographic eyeshadow, which, to be honest, I don't see it on my eyes when it's holographic. I don't necessarily think it's a particularly good thing to buy. Pomelo from the Citrinada palette. Maybe this one I wanted to put with the greens, because it has a green shift. Maybe I can put all of these with these greens, mainly because this is old gold. Oh, so beautiful. I don't know that it actually goes green, whereas it's much more like of a brown. It should just go with the browns. And headliner is more of a burgundy with a gold. Yeah, I don't think these should go with the greens necessarily, but more with the neutrals. But my neutral palette here is overfull. I hate this, I'm dying inside. What to do? What to do? Help. That and these two grays. I am leaving this open because I can't figure out right now, and I'm just gonna put them in a small palette to keep in my here surroundings and see what to do with them, because maybe while I use this neutral palette I'll decide to get rid of a few shades in favor of these, but I don't know. We will see. For now, we are done. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out till the end of this video. We have some nice palettes made. I am excited to see if I can use them more, and we will see. I'll keep you updated on how this system is working for me, and otherwise we'll be here again reorganizing. But in the meantime, I spent an afternoon doing this, and it was very, very entertaining, even though it was super hard. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!